Hello, everyone. We are back. This is Renegades React, and we are the Renegade Media Group. And this is Game of Thrones Libertarian Edition.
Okay, Micah.
And I don't know what's going on.
All right. First off, let's clarify. We are still experiencing audio issues. The audio interface that I got, turns out it's being a little bit of a butt. It was working earlier, but for some odd reason, it's just like every time we talk, it just goes. Yeah, so
the gremlins are inside.
Yeah, the gremlins are effing with us, and
They're in there.
I'm going to have to go in and exterminate them personally.
They went on vacation.
We figured, why let that stop us? We are continuing with our adventures on the internet by Game of Thrones Libertarian Edition. So,
Which is weird because with all the political strife, everyone is distinctly not libertarian.
Well,
in there.
Also there's a fact that there's a ruler,
right,
and head of state.
Yeah, or multiple declared heads of state that all are trying to kill each other.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's just something that we're having to deal with.
I have seen this posted. I've not watched it, but apparently it's pretty good.
So yeah, I've got it on here on screen. Let's get it started. I think all of us here are pretty good Game of Thrones fans. Ben stopped in the middle of the 5th season, wasn't it?
Chico was a fan of the Red Wedding mostly because of the food.
No, well, he wouldn't have liked that food because it was poisoned and it would have weakened him severely.
The drink was poisoned.
Well.
Anyway.
All right, so we got it.
It's just like I like craft services.
All right, so we got it here. Let's give it a watch.
Are you telling me the Crown is $3 million in debt?
Actually, it's 20 trillion.
How could he let this happen?
Entitlement spending, a bunch of wars. That bullet train to River Run didn't help.
Wow. Wow.
That is a big wall. Mm-hmm. And on the other side are the free folk?
No, over here we call them wildlings.
Right, and we hate them because why?
Because they are a savage, backwards, knuckle-dragging people. They do whatever they please, they marry who they want, they pay no taxes. Do you know they don't even have a real king? Just some guy they voluntarily choose to follow. They're savages.
So they built that wall.
No, we built the wall.
Wait.
What?
Hold on.
China.
That's mean to
As the
Hodor.
invisible hand
It
of the
truly
king.
is.
It is.
Can I just suggest, once again,
Invisible hand of the king.
that we do nothing? Westeros is a shit show. We're massively in debt. People are starving. We're constantly at war. There's an oppressive surveillance apparatus and stifling religious dogma encroaching on matters of state, and draconian border restrictions. I mean, at this point, I think it's fairly clear that we suck at this governing thing, right?
I am the king.
Again with the king stuff. And in that vault is the Social Security Trust Fund, where all of the money goes that will one day be paid out to retirees.
Ah.
Nothing.
Thanks, Reagan.
Yeah, it's pretty much a Ponzi scheme. We all agree that winter is coming, but the answer lies in innovation,
Nest.
not in rationing wood and coal. Baratheons, sigil a stag. Words, ours is the fury.
Good.
The Democrats, sigil a donkey. Words, it was Russia's fault?
No. A common saying, but not their official motto.
There's always a victim. Republicans, sigil an elephant. Words, hold my beer.
No.
War, walls, and Bibles?
No.
Well, what do they believe? I don't feel like I even know them anymore.
You do know them, think.
9/11. Words, maximizing individual liberty and minimizing statist incursions through a robust deployment of the non-aggression principle. And the sigil is a porcupine humping a pile of money.
Yes.
No swords, no daggers, no crossbows, no dark magic ghost babies.
Some jackass blows up a sept, and now we all gotta take our shoes off.
The night is dark and full of terrorists.
If you have more than 6 ounces of wildfire, you must place it in a transparent plastic baggie.
Trial by combat will be forbidden throughout the 7 kingdoms.
The tradition is a brutish one.
Right, but minimum sentencing for non-violent drug offenders, that's still a thing.
Good people don't use milk of the poppy.
God, you're such an asshole. I don't know. I just think blowing up a sept in the middle of your trial feels like obstruction of justice. So we built
Game Show
that
Network to
plan.
launch. You know nothing,
Yeah.
Jon Snow.
And we paid for it
Oh, yeah.
to keep out the free folk
Right.
and their redheads.
Uh-huh.
And now we're on this side of the wall.
Yeah.
Is there like a door?
It's probably a big
Probably a door. Alois perduti Daenerys Targaryen, Ephron Lumbar Condolano. Kofefi. It shouldn't take a low-income Dothraki 4 years to get a hair braiding license. It's absurd.
For the watch. For the watch.
Peer pressure. Does due process mean nothing to you people? I don't care. The Unsullied can use whatever bathroom they want. Why do we need to get involved in this?
Joffrey, Cersei, Walder Frey.
Jeff Sessions, Chuck Schumer,
Yes.
House Financial Services Committee.
The names of every fucking person in Westeros.
Only the ones I'm going to kill.
That's what we're doing? No, I was just going to write a letter. It's fucked up, Arya. Things don't have to be planned in order to be orderly. Complex systems can evolve from natural behavior, and the result is and more efficient than anything created by a central plan.
Look at Tywin, he's just like, I want to rule
Individual
everything.
Liberty is a more powerful tool for prosperity than any army, any dragon, or any king could ever be. I really thought this was the libertarian moment.
Oh, man.
Westeros great again.
No.
Grab him by the poppy.
No.
Big government if it's our government.
No.
Orange is the new black.
No.
Put a flag on it.
No.
Technically, Lincoln was a Republican.
No.
For the children.
No.
From each according to his ability to each according to his need.
No.
Something, something, social justice?
No.
Social justice in all caps.
No.
Social justice, exclamation mark.
Are we playing a game?
Oh man, that was amazing.
Yeah, that was kind of great, actually.
Oh man.
So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is Game of Thrones Libertarian Edition. Wow. It's like it was like walls,
It's like the,
bullets, and Bibles.
That
no,
was really good.
no. I don't feel like I even know them anymore. Come on, you know this.
that was my thing. I always loved the free folk, the wildlings. Is like, wait, so it's like they don't have a king. It's like they just marry whoever they want and they do whatever they want and they don't pay taxes. It's like,
And they have their redheads.
yeah. So there's like probably a door through there, right?
Yeah, there's probably a big door.
Yeah, it's probably a big door.
Well, I was going to say that situation you were talking about earlier with Jon Snow and Ygritte. That was like your dream situation.
I
isn't
have
it?
deep emotional anguish over that. I was watching the best of between them the other night. I'm like, and it's like they should have stayed in that cave and just run away together. Why is that so hard? They even talked about doing it.
Lord only knows, man. I mean, honestly, maybe Jon felt like he owed something to the Night's Watch. And lo and behold, boy, by the way, they warned you in the beginning of the video that we just watched. Spoilers here as well.
Yeah.
So, Jon,
that was like,
fuck?
Yeah.
Well,
Y'all can eat my ass. Eat every dick.
I was going to say, eat all the frozen dicks beyond the wall. Eat all of them.
Honestly.
You mean all the White Walkers?
Eat the dead king's dick.
The Night King.
The Night King. Whatever.
Well, the Night
Dead
King, Lord
too.
of the Dead. Yeah. But honestly,
it's funny because what is dead may never die. Did I do that right?
yes, you did that right.
Cool.
You did that right, Mr. Frey.
well, that's House Greyjoy.
Or not Greyjoy.
What is dead
Frey,
may never
Grey,
die, but rises again harder and stronger.
Good Lord, it sounds like the Saiyans.
Or or
Well, to be
puppy
fair though, House
don't
Graduate
do that. I
not
don't think
as
that's a smart move.
not as hardcore as their
I'm trying
as
to
they
warn
would like
you,
to
man.
be.
Stop it, Elena,
Elena.
before he hurts you. This
But
is Puppers.
that was super
was
funny
her.
and well done.
Point at me.
What
wasn't
the?
All this. I'm
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
I'm gonna have to check out more of
See, now
these.
you've got him mad
Yeah,
at me.
that
Thanks.
that was seriously funny. But honestly, they make really good points because who do you think the most Actually, I think I know who the most libertarian person is in this. Tyrion.
Yep, that's about right.
Well, he's not afraid of personal power. Now, even though he did hold a lot of power, Ned Stark, he was really uncomfortable with it. And, I mean,
Yeah.
he didn't spend money they didn't have. And he made a point to have, like, a chair at his table where he would, like, every person in Winterfell would get a chance to, like, have dinner with him and tell him what
Yeah.
their problems were.
Well, yeah,
and
that's
no one would get executed without him there presiding over it to hear his last words. So
true.
I mean,
True. Well, in terms of the ones who's still alive.
but now, as far as like the most libertarian, I guess, I mean, if you live north of the wall, I mean, you're one of the free folk. I mean,
Well,
that's
that's
pretty
okay. Well,
libertarian.
in terms of main characters,
Tormund Giantsbane, he's pretty libertarian.
well, he's not a main character, but okay.
I mean,
You go tell Tormund he's not a main character.
I will.
You tell them.
I will, and I'll say, hey,
You tell
want,
them.
Okay, now here's what I'll tell him. I'll be like, okay, you want to be on the main? You want to be on the main cast? You want main billing? You want your name in the the big whooshing over the world and everything? Fuck Brienne of Tarth.
You tell them
hey,
the Tormund Giantsbane.
Brienne's not interested in him.
Well, not now, but in all honesty,
Actually, everybody's shipping them pretty
I was
well.
going to say,
That's-
Ygritte originally wasn't interested in Jon Snow, and look what happened there.
That's fair.
Because to her, he was nothing but a crow, always a crow. You'll always be a crow. You know nothing, Jon Snow. And then all of a sudden in the cave, it's like, take me,
Well,
Jon
now-
Snow, I'm breaking your oath.
Now, actually, they rushed that in the show. In the books, though, they actually did it a lot before the cave scene in the books. But no, she was into him because she was making moves on him the whole time because she knew how to get under his skin.
Well, of course. But in all honesty, I don't think she had the idea to screw him early on. She was just doing it just so she could try and get away. I mean, honestly.
I don't know. Well, I don't know. In the show, they played it a little differently. I don't know. I think she did just because reading the books, like it was no
Okay,
secret.
that's-
Like she was.
There was no secret she was into Jon Snow.
She won it. She got it.
Well, hey, she played her cards right, and she got Lord Snow of Castle Black. Oh Lord. So
much emotional anguish over that.
I know, dude.
Stayed in the cave and run away.
Well, honestly, you need that though. You need the loss of characters that you love.
I already lost Ned. Oh.
I mostly have no idea what's going on, so I'm just trying to dry off the puppy.
Well, I was gonna say you paid attention mostly up until the middle of the 5th season, right?
No, it was season 4. He stopped watching.
Oh.
And I was just like, no, I'm done. I can't deal with this anymore.
Well, okay. For me, I actually was about to rage quit at the beginning of the 6th season because of what happened with John, and I was just like, oh no,
Oh,
no,
you need
no,
to come
no,
back.
no, no, and then all of a sudden, I was just like, well, okay.
The only thing that bothers me about that is like that's where the books left off with him getting stabbed.
Yeah.
And so then the show kind of spoils it for you. So when the books come back, you know they're going to take that course at least because they stayed really close to each other for a while.
Well, George R.R. Martin has stated that. Well, you look at what's in the book now versus, I mean, honestly, Lady Stoneheart.
Right.
Yeah, I'm kind of mad about that. I'm like,
well,
where is she?
Well, first off, the actress, Michelle Fairley, I believe is her name. Michelle Fairley.
Yeah.
She stated that if they did do that, she felt it wouldn't fit. It wouldn't fit in the current current.
We
currently
don't
the way that
understand to
things
what
go.
end he's going to take that, if there is, because some things don't get resolution. It's like real life; you just get disappointed by some things.
Well, who knows? Maybe Lady Stoneheart will arrive at Castle Black, and then
well,
still
we've seen Beric and his little band of merry men, and she's not with them. So
no,
that's-
but in terms of the book, what I think will happen is that Lady Stoneheart will arrive at Castle Black, and she'll still feel a little bit guilty over, not giving Jon Snow his proper name as she promised she would.
Well, she doesn't know his history though. I think Ned kept it a secret even from her.
No. From how they actually I think I'm mixing up the show and the books. Because in the show, she expressed remorse that she wished for Jon to die, and he caught the pox really bad and almost died. And I think that would probably be her repentance if she brought Jon back to life. She gave over her +1 resurrection over to Jon the way Beric did for her.
Right.
And it's just like, well, okay, because I think that would make sense because. When I saw it was the Red Priestess instead of Beric's friend, Sir, I forget his name now, but
yeah, there's a lot of things that have diverged. They've condensed some storylines because some stuff, I mean, it's so nebulous, and so I understand why they did condense some things.
Well, I can understand for Feast of Crows because a lot of people didn't like how Feast of Crows was.
Yeah. Well, and there's like the whole other storyline erupted where there was another Targaryen in hiding with John Connington.
Yeah, Aegon.
And so he was, and of course John Connington was the one that caught Grayscale and not,
Jorah Mormont.
Yeah.
Well,
Ser Jorah.
Well, yeah, there is that, and I think they'll resolve that because he was making his way to Dragonstone actually before Daenerys.
Yeah, because they were going around like through Valyria and stuff, like down below Valyria to Dragonstone.
Yeah, so I think and
hit them from the south.
Yeah, so. There's going George R. R. Martin has promised the next book will be out next year. He has promised that, which he's promised a lot over the last few years, and
so it will be interesting.
On TV show tours and just write his fucking book.
Well, he's got some workable manuscripts in case he dies or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the thing
he's
about
notorious for massive rewrites.
Well, yeah, that's true. And actually, he worked on the show. There was actually an episode that he wrote that gave away a part of the lore that he was saving for the books. How White Walkers were made. Yeah. He gave that away in the series because that was an episode he wrote. They brought him in to write that episode.
Right.
And I think that's awesome. I think that that they've included him to that degree is really cool. And I will say this about Game of Thrones: I'm glad that they're more focusing on the storylines and everything. It's not just tits and big bulging cocks everywhere like it was in the first season. I mean, first season got everybody interested with that. It's like, oh my gosh, it's like Lord of the Rings with Pornhub. It's like, wait, what? And I watched the first season and I understood what they meant. And second season started to get a little bit better, and now you look at the amount of nudity we're getting now versus what we got back then.
Yeah.
It's nothing.
I mean, winter's coming, so it's kind of cold.
You don't want to take your clothes off.
There was a show, Spartacus, I think it was.
Oh God, that show.
So if I'm remembering correctly, they hired an Australian professional sex company to just do the background scenes.
Yes.
And it's just like, okay, guys, just go do your thing.
Yeah, they did.
And then they're just like, oh man, this is getting out of control, and we can't cut some of this. This is like in really important scenes. Oh no. So
well, yeah, that's what they had to do.
It's good that they haven't, succumbed to that.
Well, okay. Here's the thing about Spartacus. The fantasy element that we have in Game of Thrones versus the more harsh realism of decadence that existed during that time in the Roman Empire. I mean, this is the midst of right before the full downfall of the Roman Empire, right when it was at its zenith and just started, just rapidly falling. I mean, horribly, and the decadence that was within. I mean, in all honesty, you'd expect that kind of shit if you went back then. Although I think a lot of the people would be, not handsome Australian models, but instead, fat, gelatinous hunks of shit that, in all honesty, had nothing better to do with their time but live in decadence. But oh well.
Did you give up? Okay.
It's like us Americans with our guns. Just joking. I love my guns. So yeah, that was interesting. That was very interesting,
good.
and
That was
I'm really happy that we watched it. Well, there's another one that we're going to watch here in just a second. So I guess you all will have to stay tuned for that.
Everyone, thanks for watching. Hopefully we'll see you all very soon.